What's up, everybody? Name code Dustin here. I'm back. I'm well rested. We're getting ready for that football season, but this is a baseball video. So before we get into it, as always, the CEO and president of Fantasy Smack Talk, Mr. Dustin Barkley, has a tip for our ladies and gentlemen out there.
I do have a tip. So at this point in the season, this kind of time of year we like to point out is if you're looking to try to do a trade, if you're up towards the top, now's the time to go after those bottom dwellers. Really try to take advantage of a team that's looking to shake things up. A lot of times, any chance of them still being a denial that their team isn't that good, that is over. So they're, if they're in the bottom, that's because their team's not good. They might be looking to shake things up. Might be a good time to take advantage of somebody.
Absolutely. All right, let's get looking at that waiver wire, and we're going to, of course, start with the add in all leagues. And the first one's Adam Lynn. For the love of God, give this guy some respect.
Rodney Dangerfield.
He's batting .322, 11 bombs, 31 RBIs. What more does this guy need to do? Go pick him up. There's somebody on your team that you can cut that he's better than.
He's still only owned in 70% of leagues. It's silly. Next guy, Michael Pineda, only owned in 35% of leagues. I will admit, I did get kind of a sick pleasure last year when he got hurt. The Yankees gave up one of their best young players, Jesus Montero, to get him over, and then Pineda gets hurt before the season even starts. So, being a Yankee hater, I did get a little bit of pleasure out of it, but being a baseball fan, I am excited to see Pineda come back and hopefully pitch well because he is one of the most exciting young arms in the game. He's going to be called up fairly soon and get put right into the rotation. He's been pitching great in the minors. It's time to pick him up and see what he does.
All right, and the last guy we're going to talk about is another pitcher, and that's Jose Fernandez. He's only owned right now in 65% of leagues, pitching for the Marlins. And, Matt Harvey's getting all this love. You got to see what this kid's been doing in his last 5 outings. He has a 1.67 ERA, he has a .93 whip, and he's got 32 Ks in 32 innings. He's doing everything you want to see out of a pitcher. Go grab him. He should be on your team as well if you have Harvey. If you don't have Harvey, you can still grab him anyway.
And we do have one more must-add in all leagues, and that's Mr. J.J. Putz. He is coming back from injury, and the way that Heath Bell's been pitching, it looks like Putz will probably get thrown right back into the ninth inning.
Heath Bell.
Heath Bell's been terrible. Well, it looked like pretty good coming into the year, having Heath Bell and J.J. Putz,
But Bell was supposed to be good last year, and then he was terrible.
It's a mess. But if you're looking for closer help, Putz hasn't been that great this year, but we know what he's done in the past. Not a bad pickup just to see what he can do.
All right, let's take a look at those deeper leagues, and I'm going to start off with Anthony Rendon of the Washington Nationals. He came up, had a little stint, didn't play great, was sent back down because of, Zimmerman came back, but they decided to move him over second base, so now he has second base eligibility, and since he's been up, he has been on a tear. He's batting over 350. He's got one home run, he's got a bag, couple RBIs, but regardless, a second baseman that's hitting the hell out of the ball, you gotta like to have on your team.
Next, the young pitcher we've talked about many a time on this show, Trevor Bauer, only on the 10% of leagues. At this point, you've all heard his name just because of all the hype that's been around him, but he still hasn't lived up to it. Control issues, he's been going back and forth between the minors, but he's about to get called back up, probably for good, depending on what he does, but at this point, it is worth a gamble in deeper leagues just to see how he does once he gets called up.
All right, next guy's Leonis Martin, and he's that outfielder out there with the Rangers. He's been batting .288, 5 bombs, 13 bags, 15 RBIs, well-rounded. You gotta like that. He's only owned right now in 20% of leagues, so if you're in a deeper league looking for a little outfield help, you could do a lot worse than this guy.
Martin could be the real deal. He was solid in the minors as well, and like Brent said, solid across the board, but doesn't blow anything out of the water, but playing really great. Next, we got Mr. Ichiro out there with the Yankees, only on 50% of leagues. At this point in his career, obviously, you're not going to be expecting much out of him, but he really has gotten the batting average going. He's starting to hit for average again, and those steals are still there, so you're not going to expect much more out of him than that, but he should be able to throw in a decent amount of runs playing for the Yankees, so if he can keep hitting the ball well, he still is a fantasy-relevant player at this point.
So if you're in a roto league and you're hurting for bags, or in a head-to-head league and you need some steals, look no farther than Ben Revere. And this guy's he's owned in 55% of leagues, but he's got 17 bags on the year. Plus, he doesn't kill you in average. He's got about a 275 average. So, if you need some speed, Ben Revere's a guy to gobble up right now.
Another guy that'll help you in that category is Mr. Alexi Ramirez, only on 55% of leagues. He really came onto the scene real strong about 5 years ago or so, played amazing as a rookie, and has slowly got a little bit worse, especially in the power department. but he's still fantasy relevant at a position that's hard to fill. Decent average, a little bit of speed as well. And we do have one other guy I want to talk about.
Yes, let's talk about him
The
again.
guy to keep an eye on, Mr. Ike Davis.
He's now down to keep an eye on. I love that.
Obviously have given up on him as far as going into the minors and doing all that, but he is known for having solid second halves, so I'm not completely giving up on him. Keep an eye on him. He's been playing pretty well since getting sent down. He'll get called back up soon enough, and we'll see how he does in the second half.
2.0. All right, so name code for the CEO, Dustin. Thank you so much. Check out if you're playing football. If you're playing baseball, you're probably playing football. We're shooting all those videos. Those are all going to be up with our rankings, all of that stuff at Fantasy Advice on Twitter. Name code Dustin again. Bye. Peace.